there, it's Angela Hochman here. Thank you so much for tuning in to STL TV, where we want you to experience St. Louis. Now, we all want our city to be the best that it can be. So I thought, who better to bring on than Sandra Zambrana? Sandra is the Executive Director of the Neighborhood Stabilization Division, and Karen Clifford. Karen, you have a grand title of the Neighborhood Improvement Specialist Supervisor. It sounds like a lot of responsibility between the two of you. How you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here. So you two, I would love to hear what all is part of the Neighborhood Stabilization Division. Talk about the elements.
Yes, so a lot of people don't know that the Neighborhood Stabilization Division has two groups. The first one is CSB, the Citizen Service Bureau.
Okay.
Where people make calls to get city services. And then we have the Neighborhood Stabilization Team, which is, has the Neighborhood Improvement Specialist. And they are the ones, well, actually Karen will let you know, but they are, I call them the first contact to the city.
Sure.
So, and actually both of them are, it's just in a different way. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So Karen, yeah, go ahead and talk a little bit about your role and what all that encompasses.
So the Neighborhood Improvement Specialist, we are a contact for the residents of the city, but we are usually a physical presence for them. We will get calls from them, or we are out in the actual neighborhoods that we're assigned to, and we will survey, meet with residents, discuss issues that they're having. We observe just problems in the neighborhood, the overgrown grass, the trees that need trimming, bulk refuse being dumped, tires being dumped. Those are things that we can have firsthand knowledge of to submit service requests in our database called CityWorks, so that these would be given to the city service departments to address and get them resolved for the neighborhood.
Wow. So if people do encounter any one of those issues that you mentioned, and maybe others you didn't mention, is the way to report these to go on the website, the CityWorks, or do they simply call?
Usually, if the neighborhood improvement specialist is out there, we will document the issue and then submit the service request. So we will go ahead and handle that for the resident, and we do follow up with them, and a lot of times the residents will also follow up with us as well. And that's just one of the aspects of the first contact with the residents. Another very integral part that we interact with the residents is with problem properties. You will have, there is what's called the Problem Properties Division, and it's composed of a team. There's the city councilor, the problem properties police officers, and then the neighborhood improvement specialist. Many times there are problems in a neighborhood going on, shootings or possibly a drug house or a boarding house, or even just something that a lot of people can relate to also are the problems with the Airbnbs. So they can contact us, the neighborhood improvement specialists, to report an issue that they have going on, and then we take it from there and do the investigation and and place it into a problem properties to be discussed as far as what type of action to be taken then.
Gosh, I can imagine every day has got to be so different for both of you.
Yes.
It is, and that is what is great about being a neighborhood improvement specialist, is no day is the same.
Sure.
And no neighborhood is the same, and each neighborhood has its own assigned neighborhood improvement specialist. They get to know the neighborhood, they get to know the residents, the alderperson, the businesses, and all of those that we interact with as part of making that neighborhood a better place to live and an experience for the residents and anyone else having a place there.
Right. I mean, who doesn't want their neighborhood to be, aesthetically pleasing, to be safe, just to be all of those things that your teams together work to make happen?
Yes.
And something that the residents may not know, talking about getting to know the neighborhood, is that the neighborhood improvement specialists go to their neighborhood association meeting. So if the residents want to meet their NIS, they would go to the neighborhood association meeting, and they're there.
That's amazing. So is it typically the same person per neighborhood? So that's their point of contact should they run into any of these issues?
Correct.
Exactly. And at these meetings, a lot of times the probably 100%, I should say, there is a time slot available during the agenda for the neighborhood improvement specialist to get up and do a, inform the residents what's going on, what they're doing. And then also they do stay afterwards and they have their laptops. If someone wants to follow up on something that may have been filed or an issue that has been going on, the neighborhood improvement specialist can look it up in CityWorks and give them information right then after the meeting.
That's amazing. So in real time, they can be troubleshooting some of these issues. And how great to actually match a face. Half the time, you don't want to call and you might be on hold or you don't know who you're talking to, but to be face-to-face with them, it just makes it so much more personal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, what is something that you think St. Louisans can do to take action in their neighborhood, to get involved, to make it better, besides perhaps going to these neighborhood association meetings?
I think the first and foremost thing is to be educated in what their responsibilities are, what they have to take ownership for as a resident in that neighborhood, making sure that the that the litter and the trees and things are kept, are maintained, what they are responsible for. A lot of people do not know that they are responsible for, behind their property in the alley, they're responsible for halfway into the alley, and then across the alley, their neighbor across the alley is responsible for the other half. And the same works for the front too. The tree lawn, keeping that trim, and out into the street. Those are, and that's one thing too that the neighborhood improvement specialists will work with the residents, is educating them and making them aware of the ordinances and enforcing them if we have to. We do try to take the first step as to work with them and getting things corrected, and rather than having to have them actually cited.
Absolutely. I feel like people need to just simply know what is their responsibility, what isn't their responsibility. So to clarify that, that's golden.
Yes, because one of the things that residents may not know is that the city doesn't pick up scattered trash. And if, to make sure that if they have a roll cart, then they put all the trash inside the roll cart. If they have dumpsters, that they put all of the trash inside of the dumpster, because the city has one truck driver and they use their truck to pick up the dumpster and the roll cart. So, and they have a lot of things to do, so they just go. So if residents could just make sure that all of the things are inside either, whichever container.
Yeah.
And if there's scattered trash, it's just like we all have to do our part.
Absolutely.
Even if we didn't do it, right? If it's in the back of your house, like in the alley, then help us, right? Or help the neighborhood.
Takes a village,
right?
You guys. It takes a
absolutely.
village.
Absolutely.
And think it's like, of course there's going to be more trash than people to pick it up. There's
Yes.
only so many people. There's only so many hours in the day to take care of these things. So real quick, because I know we are winding down, but there are some job opportunities that I'd love to hear about.
Yes.
These are relatively time sensitive. So
It is. So it was just posted. We have 6 open positions for the neighborhood improvement specialist. And so if you go to the city's government website, you can just search for jobs, and it's open until we're receiving applications until April 5th.
fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. So they've got some time to send in their application if they want.
Yes.
Okay, well, you two, it has been so great, so enlightening to have you both on. And again, we're just scratching the surface here with
Absolutely.
what are people responsible for and what are they not. But I want to thank you both for your time. I think getting the word out there, we can improve St. Louis neighborhood by neighborhood. But
Yes.
It takes all of us pitching in.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So if you want to find your neighborhood improvement specialist, make sure that you check out the address that's right there on the screen, because you can find the contact info for that person in your exact area. We encourage you, get involved, be proud of your city. That's what we do as St. Louisans. You know, you got to represent, you got to be proud, and we all have to do our part. So again, check out that website. And while you are online, feel free to search STL TV on all those fun-filled social media platforms. Lots of great content going on there. There's always the website, stltv.net. Tons of great stuff there too. But that's going to do it. I've had a blast chatting today. Keep it right here on STL TV, where you get to experience St. Louis. Thanks for watching.